The Hamfest is on a busy highway with lots of traffic, so let's go behind these charity bins for some peace and quiet and do this video just in the corner of the car park. This is what I got from the Amateur Radio Club Hamfest, all for $7. Let's take a look. First of all, we've got this compilation collection of magazines and books. Now, quite a few of them, and this is why I got it. Quite a few antenna books. These are from the magazine Amateur Radio Action that was popular in the 80s and 90s. And these had some really good articles on various antenna books. I won't go through all of them. Oh, there's a circuit book. Electronics Today International. Another magazine, but more general electronics. Just lots of circuits, cookbooks, or circuit cookbook. Anyway, all these little circuits. This is before everything was programmed. Still, lots of ideas, hints, tips, and workshop hints. So yeah, that's one of the things. Well, we'll go through each of these really quickly. This antenna book, quite a few things. G4ZU mini beam, cables, connections, how you put plugs on. Advertisements from suppliers that are often defunct now. There's even a program, someone would have typed that into their computer probably. And there are a whole series of these books. That was 4, this is 5. Let's hope that we've got 1, 2 and 3 as well. Designing antennas. This is something that I wanted to do more about. Oh, there's some cartoons there. John Colm, VK3YE, was a noted cartoonist. Super gain beam antennas, something I've wanted to do more of and build. You can search the jungle job on the internet, but anyway, it's great to have an article describing it. It's something that I've always wanted, but it appears here in this book. Mobile One, a noted Australian manufacturer of mobile antennas, all in here. Andrews Communications, still going. Turlin Antennas, a West Australian manufacturer. I think that's still around. The famous Tom Moffat, VK7TM. And yet these books, you sometimes found them, I think, in newsagents. They're a lot cheaper than the ARRL antenna books. Oh good, we've got number 3. There we are, $2.95. And then it went up to $3.95. That's number 5. Number 4 was $3.20. So yep, nice cheerful orange cover. These would have been quite good sellers for Amateur Radio Action magazine. Here's a chart showing you all the amateur bands and the harmonics. Could be handy if you were causing TV interference. Propagation, data, none on the internet that you could look things up. Traps. Anyway, let's have a dig in and see if we've got more antenna books. Oh, simple projects. Okay, so we're on the projects theme. We've got a mixture of circuits and antennas. So again, there's going to be a lot of little simple projects. Yep, electronics today. Oh, this looks like a metal detector. I don't need one of those because I got one of those from the last Hamfest I went to. Radio parts, would you believe they are still going, and they're still at 562 Spencer Street, West Melbourne. Anyway, we'll keep going and see what else we can find. More circuits, ETI circuit techniques. Are these the same? Yeah, volume 3, okay. If anyone wants a spare volume 3, I've got one here. 15 Sub-Diavo projects, also from ETI. Well, the first page I saw intrigued me, radio microphone. A sound bender, that would have been fun also. Sheridan Electronics, they were big in Sydney at the time. I think they were ex-disposals. A leak detector. What was that all about? Oh, this was when people were worried about RF leaks from 2.3 gigahertz high power transmitters, otherwise known as microwave ovens. Let us look at the radio microphone on page 31. JCar, still going, and you can buy my book from there. Australian Ham Radio Handbook. Okay, here is the radio microphone developed by Phil Waite, who is quite familiar to many VK amateurs. Anyway, bit of a blurb there. And the circuit, just a simple one transistor circuit. Keep going, data book, ICs. Had to have one of those. Electronic projects for cars. Looks like another ETI publication. This is quite a fat volume. It's Top Projects, volume 6, so there must have been 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 at least. Sometimes I find these books are useful when you're wanting to build something. You can just leaf through them and there'll often be a circuit that can be adapted to do what you want. Like, look at this analog frequency meter, linear scale. You probably wouldn't build one of those these days, but you could still get the parts. Look at those parts. IC13140 op amp, IC25555 timer. We have here Dick Smith face on the back. Got to be a project book, and it's number 2 from ETI. And we have a quite recent edition of Silicon Chip, December 2020. Popular Australian electronics magazine. So, we've got this, electrical technology. Now there's a bit of history here. RAAF Book Central. Cancelled. So that was from the Melbourne Telecommunications Unit. Diploma Cadet Squadron. How old is this book? Well, the second edition is 1963. So all this stuff, formulas, magnetism, mathematics, how it all works. So if you're becoming an electronic technician or studying engineering, then yep, this is the book that you would learn from if you were in the Air Force. And that's it for the first bag. Let's speed things up and open the second bag. A bit more exciting this time, as you can now hear. And we have the sound of metal boxes. In fact, that's pretty much all there is. We have here this beautiful box. These are really nice quality aluminium boxes. Doesn't tell us much clue as to what's in it. That's on. Some sort of control and some connections, possibly for the power, but a very nice box and an LED. This is it pulled apart. A little project. And I see 2 transistors, even a 9-volt battery, which the tongue test shows still works. When I flick on the switch, you might not be able to see it, but the LED comes on. But it's not a simple on-off type LED, because when I move the potentiometer past a certain point, the LED goes off. Now the next thing is, I tried with some high impedance headphones putting it across to see if it was a little audio oscillator, but I couldn't hear anything. I then got the multimeter and tried DC voltage, couldn't get anything. But I now have the meter on frequency, and when I put that in, you can see that it's quite a high frequency, above hearing range. And when I adjust the potentiometer, there it's at 22 kilohertz. I adjust it, it's just gone below 20. It's around 15 kilohertz, so it's like a 15 to 20 kilohertz audio oscillator above the hearing range. Now, what could possibly be the use of that? Well, it's then that I saw inside the box, it's described as a shorted coil detector. Info may be in ETI. Then it's got BRD number, maybe 00600 or 0099. So shorted coil detector, ETI project, very considerate for the project to be documented. So that's the mystery of this solved, a shorted turn detector. Here's another box, a little bit bigger. Great thing about it is it's got 2 SO239s on it and a meter. It's calibrated in amperes RF, but I've been told, and it's a bit of a tip, to know if a RF ammeter is working, you shake it around, and if the meter needle bounces around a lot, then it's probably blown, because there should be a bit of damping on this meter needle if it's working properly. But anyway, we'll have a look inside so you'll see what the inside of what I think is an RF ammeter is all about. As for this supposed RF ammeter, well, there's nothing inside. Oh, but hang on, look at the fine print and it says thermocouple internal. So this had the thermocouple built into the meter movement. Boxes again, this one is without a lid, but very nice box. 2 nice binding posts, that could be good for a project. The only thing that's not a box is, it looks like a little QRP transmitter. 1 transistor, a trimmer capacitor across, a big capacitor there, inductor, and a crystal socket. Even though it's a sunny day, I can't actually see what the transistor is. So this is a 1 transistor crystal oscillator. It's got a tuned output. Looking at the number of turns on there, it's hard to determine what frequency it is. Maybe we could look at the value of this capacitor. It's probably too high for 80 meters. That's 47 picofarad. So maybe 14 megahertz, maybe 28 megahertz. And finally, we have the last in the bag, and this couldn't resist, and it was in the free pile, is this absolutely beautiful box. Look at it. There's only one hole in the middle, so it's almost begging to be used for some sort of general coverage receiver. Not too many holes in the back. Just labelled siren and power. Need to do something about the top and the bottom, but that shouldn't be a problem. So there we are. Here's all our bits, all for $7 from the Moorabbin Radio Club Hamfest. Let me know what you thought. Did I get a bargain, or did I get ripped off? In the comments below. Oh, this other little thing in the bottom of the bag. Yep, it's just a bit of matrix board. It was on a table and the guy said, yeah, you can have it for free. Don't pass these up because these are handy if you're building little projects. If you've enjoyed this video and are starting out or know someone starting out in ham radio, consider my books on the topic. In the USA, consider Ham Radio Get Started. And in Australia, the Australian Ham Radio Handbook. These books give you ideas on facets of amateur radio, what you can do with it, and the basics of setting up a station. There's also a lot of detail on making contacts, something that beginners often stumble with. Books are available on Amazon by searching their titles, or you can learn more from my website VK3YE.com.